turn my mic on. Good morning, Twitch. Good morning, Twitch. Good morning, Twitch. Good morning on this 05.17.2023. Current time is 05:59 a.m. Eastern Time. 1 minute before 6 a.m. this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Rich Roberts at Fireman Rich over there on Twitter, but here on I was going to say Facebook. Here on Twitch, I am Fireman Rich also, but over there on Twitter, it's at Fireman Rich. Jack is walking around here. What's up, Jack? Come here, Jackie. Calvin's got his pillow back here where he usually takes a nap and stuff. But we are getting our day started. I do have the morning coffee. Good morning, Double J's in the house. Double J's in the house. And glad to have you all here. We're getting set up. We're running a little, just a tad late. You know, it happens as far as that goes, and whatnot. So it's just good to be here, and as far as that goes. And Tim Fan, I was waiting for you. Good morning. Yeah, I know. I'm running. This is going to be about the norm right now. If I come in early, I come in early at 5:30. But if I'm not rushing to set this up as far as that goes. You know, as far as I would get up at quarter of, and it would take me about 15-20 minutes. Now it's like, okay, get the coffee, interfacing with the missus there. She woke up and all, and you know, taking care of the cats. But good morning, Tim Fan. Glad to have you here. Yo. I'm glad, and thank you for waiting. As far as that goes, it means a lot. I've got people waiting for me in the morning time. You know, that's how important Tim Fan makes me feel. Thank you, Tim. And thank you, Double J's, for being here. Of course, Double J's, he's halfway through his day there, I think, right? It's if it's 6 o'clock here, what's it in Mumbai? That's where, for those people, Double J's is a regular. Yeah, thank you. You're welcome, Tim. Double J's is a regular viewer here in the chat, and that's what really is a good part of this show, is the chat, as far as that goes, because we're just chatting. That's the category, I guess. But over there in Mumbai, it's 3:30 in the afternoon. You're in the afternoon, so you're just waking up from your afternoon naps or stuff like that. Still taking them, right? Yes, the day is almost over. Don't mess up our. Yeah, I'm trying. Okay, well, that comes to an interesting point, because I was broadcasting Monday afternoon, 3 hours. Actually, 3 hours. There's Jack. Hello, Jack. Jack is in the window. 3 hours on Monday. I didn't have a broadcast on Monday. I just got up and I slept in, and it was time. It was getting too close in the morning. I just scratched the Monday morning broadcast. So, you know, I know that probably messed up your routine there too. So, but hey, it happens. But I ended up broadcasting 3 hours of Lord of the Rings later that day. Somebody in there said about, well, you should do this. You should do this as a broadcast. I'll broadcast on my own time and my own terms and stuff. I stick to a somewhat loose schedule, and it's probably a little bit more normal than most broadcasters and stuff that I see. But I'll take suggestions. But this individual was almost pushing it, like you should do this to, you know, because they were trying to compare me with Randy W. Horton. I'm not a Randy W. Horton, okay? He inspires me, okay, to do things and stuff like that. But I was doing these things long before I met Randy W. Horton. So good morning, Tina, and he's a good online friend. But to say, oh, you need to do this because Randy W. No, we're all different, okay, and. So I think I'm preaching to the choir. You know, you guys, Tina, who's coming in from New Jersey, Tim Fan out there in Michigan, and Double J's coming in from Mumbai. They've been here long enough. They know how I feel about things. As far as you know, it's just like we all are individuals, and we all have our own thing that we do, as far as that goes. And so this guy was just pushing just a tad and stuff like that, like, okay. And then when I checked the individual's page, they're not even broadcasting. So don't tell me, if you're not broadcasting, don't tell me how to broadcast as far as that. Yeah, I saw the replay on that, Double J's. He joined Rumble. I'm gonna follow you. I saw that you followed me, Double J, so I'll be following you back. I got to catch up. That's one. I wonder how he can keep up with. I wonder how he can keep up with him on all play. It's hard. Well, that he has the time, and that's the thing. If you have the time, now this individual say, "Oh, you're not working anymore, so you have all this extra time." I have extra time, but it's focusing more, concentrating my focus on areas I didn't have that much focus on. Okay, so so that's where we sit there and stuff like that. So I'm not trying to explain myself, but it's one of those things that get me a little perturbed. Don't tell me what to do on my broadcast. You can suggest it. Like I had when I was doing the game, this one guy that came in, I was trying to search for this. He gave me a suggestion to, instead of stay in the ground view, go upper view and then turn your name tag on, because the things you're searching for will have a name tag and it'll stand out a little bit more. And I did that, and I'm like, I should have known that. I've been on the frickin' game for 16 years, but I said thank you very much. That was really good. And then he gave me some other suggestions, which sort of gave me the indication that he's been playing the game for a while also. See, you can always tell when the person is starting to give you things, like I've been on the game for 16 years. I know somebody that knows a lot about Lord of the Rings if they're telling me certain aspects of the game, and I'm like, this guy is in the know. This individual's in the know. Now the other person that was trying to tell me, oh, be more like Randy, go to there's. It's different where Randy broadcasts, because people always have a camera. They accept. Where I'm at, if I have a camera up, especially in rural New York, going through the supermarket, showing you I could take a picture, but if I'm broadcasting, these people around this area, the thing you got to understand, in the rural areas of the United States, people do not like to have pictures being taken, and you try and keep the camera away from them, but wherever you go, there's people. So I'm not going to be, I don't get any fun out. There's no fun factor in that. This is fun. Okay. And that's the key thing, the fun factor. If I occasionally spur of the moment, and I've done this when I'm driving in the car with the missus, as far as that goes. Return chatter, James Price Aviator. Hey, good morning, sir. James Price Aviator is in the house. Return chatter. Thank you for returning as far as that. James Pricey Aviation. Good to see you as far as that goes. Good morning and welcome to the broadcast. So just wanted to get that, I guess after that one little bit in that 3-hour broadcast sort of bugged me. And I mentioned it yesterday in my audio podcast, the Fireman Rich audio podcast over there on Spotify. But we do have the morning coffee, positive start to the day, and see where it takes us as far as that. We got some things on I believe it or not, I've had some things almost every day that I've had to do. So I've been keeping busy, and I'm having fun doing it, because I don't have, it's one of those things when I was working, I'd worked 8 hours and I'd come home and I try and do all that stuff with what few hours I had left, or wait for the weekend. And the weekend, I just want to, and it's going very well as far as that goes. Let's see, Double J's. So bloggers will have tough times in your area. Not really. It's the individual. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable. If I'm 6'5", Double J's. Okay, so you got a 6'5" guy, and I'm going like this, and I'm walking around. People are going to say, "Look at that goof." I don't get, and it's just like I have some things planned for this summer. To maybe when I go to a museum or a special place there, the final resting spot of Mark Twain. I keep on saying that and procrastinate. That's those locations. At certain locations, I will live stream broadcasts, but I'm not going to go out of my way. When I do it. Okay, but for the most part, this is my routine here. I do the live show, and then I love doing the gaming. I love doing the gaming. That was one of the reasons I came to Twitch, was do the live stream gaming. This just spurred off of what I was doing off of that previous platform, and how that got started was going back to the audio. So it just like, this is fairly, doing this live stream bit. It's only been 3 years now. I did it about 2 years. What are you doing, Jack? So and it's fun, and it's and I think it's great because I got to meet you all. So bloggers have, but bloggers don't have that much. No, double J's. It's an individual thing because there's people I see out and they're doing the video, but they're a younger crowd. It's expected. I'm 65. I'm an old guy. So if I go, unless there's something going on, unless I really I got to be into it. You got to be into the role. I'm not just gonna, Randy does it because that's part of his routine. He's used to doing that. I don't know if I was to do it every day, but I'm not gonna clog up my day broadcasting like Randy does. Randy he has that time in the car when he's driving to work. That's a good opportunity. I could do that here, but it just would encroach on my privacy, is what I'm saying. So, oh God, okay, you got me now. Just asking, as you said, people in rural area America don't appreciate it. And I think that's, I think that's around the world in some cases. But then again, people are oblivious because the majority of the culture right now is like this. They're not paying attention to what's around them. They're just focused in on this. That's my observation. The majority of today's culture is facing the phone, as far as that goes. And that's just the way it is, I guess, as far as that goes. Okay, let's see. Let's currently here in the southern tier of upstate New York, it is, what do we got? We got 44 degrees Fahrenheit, 6.6 degrees Celsius. And we thought we're supposed to have a freeze warning. We have an active watch, a freeze watch of all things. We have a freeze, but I thought it was last night, me and the missus, but it's actually tonight going into Thursday. So, but it's currently 44 degrees Fahrenheit, 6.6, might as well say 7 degrees Celsius. Gorgeous day yesterday. Let's see, today is going to be some clouds this morning. Will give way to generally sunny skies. It's been really good. High of 54, so it's going to be a little on the cool side. We got some winds yesterday. It kept things cool. 10 to 20 miles per hour out of the west or north by northwest. Sun rose this morning at 5:44, which is about, let's see, what's that? 15, 16, 26, 27, 28 minutes ago. 28 minutes ago at 5:44 a.m. the sun rose, and currently right now we got it's cloudy with some blue skies there. And the sun will be setting at 8:21 what did I say? 8:21 p.m. Get my times right here. 8:21 p.m. as far as that goes. And let's see. And let's see, our world times and temperatures. Let's see, starting in Hawaii, Honolulu, Hawaii at 12 a.m. currently. They're just starting their day. Cloudy, partly clear, 73 degrees Fahrenheit in, let's see, Phoenix, Arizona. I'll get my tab up here. Phoenix, Arizona, we have at 3:12 a.m. clear sky, 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Albuquerque, New Mexico, we have at 4:13 a.m. Partly cloudy, partly clear skies, 54 degrees Fahrenheit. Chicago, Illinois, at 5:13 a.m. clear skies, 46 degrees Fahrenheit. In New York City, the jungle. It is 6:13 a.m. and that's what it is here currently, current time where I'm at also. Sunny skies down in New York City today, 61 degrees Fahrenheit. Down there in Jersey where Tina is at, is 62 degrees down there. So you're just about the same temperature there, Tina, as New York City. Across the pond, the Atlantic Ocean in Cork, Ireland, cloudy skies at 11:13, 59 degrees Fahrenheit. Milan, Italy, 12:13 p.m. Raining in Milan at 57 degrees Fahrenheit. Down in Riyadh, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, 1:13 p.m. Sunny skies, 102 degrees Fahrenheit. In New Delhi, India, well, they got Riyadh beat. It's sunny skies. It's 106 degrees Fahrenheit in New Delhi. But down in Mumbai, India, where Double J's is at, it's 3:44 p.m. 90 degrees Fahrenheit. That's still high, and I guess you still get that humidity. I think, right? Double J's. Yeah, it's hot. Okay, I was just gonna say, even 90, even though it's 106 in New Delhi, Mumbai at 90 is still hot. it's always hot in Mumbai, right? There, Double J's. At least that's the impression I get. Let's see, in Kuala Lumpur, it is at 6:14 p.m. It is sunny skies, 88 degrees, lots of humidity. Yeah, a lot of humidity in that part of the world, and even going into the Philippines, which is our next one, Manila, Italy, Manila, Philippines, 6:15 p.m. Cloudy skies, 88 degrees, and even at 88, I know in the Philippines that's humid there because I would say this. You guys know I was over in the Philippines in northern Luzon at a radar site, Wallace Air Station, and a great assignment. Oh my God, I love that assignment. It was a 1-year assignment. It was, but if you were at the beach, it was sort of cool, okay. But if you got inland, it was 88 degrees. Now, if it dipped down below 85 degrees, the Philippine Nationals would break out their parkas because it was cold. So, wow, even when it got down to, I mean, there was a couple times it got down to 70 degrees over there, freak weather and stuff like that. That was interesting to see. Everybody's wearing coats and stuff, and you're still walking around in a t-shirt and shorts. Tokyo, Japan at 7:15 p.m. Clear skies, 77 degrees Fahrenheit. Down in Melbourne, Australia at 8:16 p.m. 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Sydney, Australia at 8:15, also 55 degrees Fahrenheit. And those are our world times and temperatures as we speak, as far as that goes. So let's see. Lots of humidity. Yeah, I can't. That's the one thing. It can get humid here in upstate New York during the summertime, and I can't stand during the wintertime I can't stand. I could take the cold, but when you get the cold in the wintertime with the wind, it becomes icebox cold. The opposite of that in the summertime, I could take heat, but when you get that humid, when you're like swimming through it, almost, it just saps the energy out of you, as far as that goes. So yeah, humidity is a killer. I agree, Double J's. It is a freaking killer. Oh my God, and then some. We do have a quote and thought for today from a great inventor. James, okay, James is over there in London. Thank you for telling us where you're at, James. Thank you. You're part of the worldwide broadcast that we have here. James is, it's 61 degrees Fahrenheit over there in London right now. And what did I say? I got to put London on here then. Oh, you're probably, you're in the same time zone as Cork, Ireland, so it's about 11:17 over there. 61 degrees Fahrenheit over in London, England, over there in the UK, London, UK. How do they say? You say London, England, or London, UK? I always used to say it's UK, but London, England. Let's see, 11:17. Yep. Okay, that's okay. So you're on the same time frame as Cork, Ireland. And Double J's, yeah, Delhi gets dry heat since they are northward near the. Oh, so they don't get the humidity up there. Never went to, but going back to James there, never been to London, England, James. I did, during my Air Force time, I did touch down in Milford Air Force Air Base there for a brief stop as I was traveling over to Germany, as far as to go visit my sister. She was in the Army. I was stationed back in the States. She had just got married, so I left out of Pease Air Force Base, New Hampshire, for a flight on a KC-135. We touched down on at Milford Air Force Air Base, and then we were only on the ground for about like a half hour, 45 minutes to get fueled, and then we jumped Yeah, two big yeah, there's two bases still there in the UK. Technically it's London, UK, but most people say, yeah, I think it was, yeah, that's what I was saying. It is the UK as far as that goes. It's more, I hear more of the UK than England, but I guess growing up as a kid, we used to always say London, England. And yeah, there's, I think it's Milford, and I can't think of the other one, but there is still two active air bases there. The U.S. Is allowed to use from the United Kingdom, part of NATO operations. But and I did go out. We're there long enough to where I think I got to say we were there for maybe a little bit more than an hour because we were able to go offside the base. It was called the Bird in Hand Pub, and that's the first time I ever had a warm beer and stuff like that. We had time enough to get one beer in Melford. I think it was right outside the gate because we said, "Can we?" Well, the club isn't really open, and it was early morning, so oh, you can go to just take a taxi. Go. It took us like 5 minutes to get there. We had a beer. It was pretty interesting. So that was my. Yeah, I actually had my feet on London, UK territory, I guess you could say. So I didn't really get to see much other than it was a very nice pub. I thought, it was very English as far as that goes. So and whatnot. So, but Milford, okay, or Mildenhall. Okay, I stand correct. Thank you, James. Thank you. Mildenhall. That's where we landed. Yeah, the Bird in Hand. I don't know if it's still there. It was right outside the gate, the main gate there. The guys on the flight line. Yeah, go to the Bird in Hand. You can get a beer there. So it's like we went and got a beer. Of course, the flight crew couldn't because they're working. I was a passenger, so I could go get a beer. And the crew chief on the KC 135 because I think from Milford we went into Rhine, Maine, and my sister was stationed at Worms, Germany. She was in the army. She was in Augsburg, so she was at Rhine, Maine to pick me up, and we drove back to Augsburg's nice. They got a nice zoo there in Germany, as far as I can recall. So there's our world times and temperatures, and thank you again, James, for being part of the broadcast. Let's see what else we got on the docket here. My mouse is, our thought for the day. That's why I'm getting long-winded here. Tina's probably laughing her ass off right now. It's like get with the program. Let me see here. And James, yeah, that pub is. Oh, is it still there? You Google? Okay, yeah, that. And Tina, lots of laugh. I know. I hear this little ringing in my ear, Tina. So it's like, but the Bird in Hand. That's interesting. Thank you for that information. That's good because it's still there after all these years. God, how long ago was that? That was, oh my God, that's got to be. Oh my God, that's over 35 years ago and stuff like that. So that's been there. Let's see. Our thought for the day is from a great American inventor, Alexander Graham Bell, who invented the telephone. And his quote and our thought for the day goes as follows: When when one door closes, another door opens. I got to get my hands here, and I'm not Italian either. It's just like Tina's laughing now too. When one door closes, another door opens, but we often look so long and so regretfully upon the closed door that we don't see the one which opens for us. It's right there. One door closes, another door of opportunity, and that's true in the case as far as that goes. Alexander Graham Bell, just like Thomas Edison, probably had a lot of failures that led to his success. So those door closes. So, and Tina says true. Yes, I think that's very true as well. And thank you, Double J's, for the retweets there. I appreciate that. It's just popping up on my iPad mini here, the flashes and stuff like that. So when one door closes, another door opens, but we so often look so long and so regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see the one which opens for us. We miss our opportunity too. You can miss an opportunity. It's like, oh God, you're just regretful. Like, I should have done that. Let it go. Put it behind you. Look at this. I got this opportunity. You might see more than one door open also, as far as that goes. So, and that's, I really, for me, that's just part of being open-minded as far as that goes, and try not to be a stick in the mud. Tina, I say when one door closes, open the window. There we go. That's a yeah. I can say I like that. Yeah, the window. What the hell? Oh, Jack's not there. Where's Jack? Oh, he's back in the back chair there. Okay. So there we have it. A good one. And Alexander Graham Bell, like I said, he was he was Scottish born. I shouldn't say he came to America. He was Scottish born. I keep on forgetting that. Scottish born inventor, scientist, and engineer who is credited with patenting the first practical telephone, because there was other people looking at that, doing that. So he was also co-founder of American Telephone and Telegraph Company, and the Bell Telephone Company is still around, I think, today. So a great inventor, Alexander Graham Bell. And let's see, our national days today. Let's see, today is Wednesday, May 17th. I keep on forgetting on my Surface 3. It's just like the iPad Mini. You can scroll, because this mouse is getting a little wonky. So let's see, Wednesday, May 17th, 2023. It is the 137th day. It is the 20th week of the year, and we're 38%. We were 37 yesterday, I think, or the other day. Let's see. Well, we got World Telecommunication and Information Society Day. That relates to the telephone almost, if we could. National Idaho, no, throw that in the bin with Connecticut and all the other state days. I don't care about the state days. Emergency Medical Services for Children Day. That's not bad. National Pack Rack Day. I'm trying to get away from being. I cleared out some stuff yesterday. I'm trying to do that a little bit at a time. And let's see, World Hypertension Day. Yeah, get your blood pressure checked. National Graduation Tassel Day. The tassel has its own day. Come on. We got two of them here. I love this particular nut. National Walnut Day. That's not a bad one. Let's see, James, 17 May 1878, USA first Kentucky Derby. Oh, okay, so the first Kentucky Derby was on this day. Okay, and they moved it back. That's interesting. Thank you. On this day, I got a segment of world history too, so you beat me to the punch there. But it's always welcome. I'm going to see if that comes up in my history queue here next. But I think Tina will want this one. National Cherry Cobbler Day. I think I've had cherry cobbler once or twice in my lifetime. So, what do you think? National. Oh no, you're all right, James. No. Be free. Feel free to throw that out there. Okay, I'm going national days. That's part. That's today. Somebody could say it's Tina says, of course. So it's National Cobbler Day that we're going with then. No, James, that's more. You're more than welcome to throw that information in there. I really appreciate it. I accidentally made keyboard small on the SkyPad. Okay, I hate that when that happens. No, you're taking part there, James. So don't worry about that. I don't. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Let's see, National Cherry Cobbler Day, because we like the foodies. The foodies are always good. Let's see. Yeah, Rich is never picky guy unless someone really. Yeah. Do I get pissed off, Double J's? I brush up against that. I like having fun, having a smile on my face and laugh. But when you get somebody and the so-called trolls, it's like no tolerance. You're gone. They try and scoot around it and stuff. I think in that, and I wrote it down. We'll get to the National Cherry Cobbler Day here, but Randy W. Horton, Double J's. I guess during his broadcast, I watched it last night. On the Rumble, and I think he likes Rumble. I guess he has to get used to it. There's a learning curve, And you can delete your previous broadcast. He just hasn't found it yet. I'm going to tell you right. Because it took me a little bit. Actually, it's easier to do it from the app because in the app, when you bring up all your broadcasts, you got 3 selections. You go to the screen that shows you all your broadcasts. You go down, it lists all your broadcasts. Off to the right, there's the 3 buttons. You hit that. That's where you delete it. Okay? So, and I think you can do that also on the thing is off to the right. James, oh yes, he was talking about Rumble. Yeah, it's been around for a while, James. It's a site that one of the owners and backers of it is Dan Bongino, who is a radio talk host that I listen to. He's conservative. He's a conservative Christian. I like him. He can be a little bit of a blowhard, but he's not as much of a blowhard as Sean Hannity and stuff like that. But he is a good guy. He's a New Yorker also. He lives down in Florida. But Rumble's been around, and he ended up getting involved in that. The way Rumble spurred about is there was people getting banned on YouTube. Now, your first impression, and Randy was talking about, well, before we go to Rumble, let's get done with the National Day here. National Cherry Cobbler Day. May 17th each year dedicates and the celebration of National Cherry Cobbler Day to the delicious tart dessert that many enjoy and it's with ice cream. Yeah, pie, cobbler, you got to have a scoop of vanilla ice cream. Many believe the early American colonies are where the recipe began, born out of the lack of proper cooking utensils. Hashtag Cherry Cobbler Day. So there we go, National Cherry Cobbler Day. Now back to the Rumble. People were getting Rumble's been around for almost a couple years now. Okay, people are starting to get recognized, and I promote it because I've been on there broadcasting. I think my first broadcast, I actually I uploaded a video. My first video was something I did here on Twitch, and that's what I do with these broadcasts. I repurpose them over on Rumble. Fireman Rich I'm on Rumble. Okay, as a matter of fact, there it is. Fireman Rich on Rumble. Okay, so I've been on there. Since about 2 years now, because it was last January. Because I looked, was it January? Yeah, it was last January 2022. I uploaded my first upload was and you'll see the picture. It's me and Randy. I had a StreamYard here on Twitch that I repurposed it over there. Yes, I made sure I followed you on. Okay, Double J's. Yep, you said that, and I will be following you back. Let me see, Double J's. Follow on Rumble, and I saw that when I was checking out see if Randy was, but he was on YouTube this morning, which I watched a replay. But Rumble is basically, it's a conservative. You could say it's a conservative, but there's a host of other things on there, and Randy found that out. And one of the things I guess I'm getting to, Double J's, in Randy's broadcast, and I wrote it down. He indicated a troll, a honeybee ROOW as a troll. He said, make sure you ban that person and stuff. So that was for me. That was because I was like, oh, if he's already got he's got a big following. So he was also broadcasting on YouTube and Kick. I think Rumble is better than Kick. Rumble is sort of like, it's not as great as YouTube. Okay, it can get there. It has the potential. Rumble. I live streamed on Rumble before. It's like I said, it's a little bit of a learning curve, but you can do it. The video quality is great. So there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of good content too. So it's starting to come into its own. So I think Randy will like it over there. It's just not, Twitch is my mainstay. Yeah, poor fellows get targeted a lot since I guess he is a little outspoken. He just expresses his views, and you're going to have people that, just how he got trapped over there or here on Twitch, where somebody made a comment and he wasn't proactive in deleting that. That's his responsibility. Okay, he's got to, and I remember that comment. I'm just like, that was a little. That came close to the line there and stuff like that. But see, from his his so-called demise and his suspension there. I guess he's coming back. He said the 7th of June, which will give him his 30 days. That makes me be more strict on what I see in my chat too, Double J's, and I appreciate you guys' feedback on trolls, because you guys have been viewers on other people's platforms and stuff like that, and I respect that input, especially people that have been here on the chat that said, like I know Chris Technician a number of times has told me, hey, that person's a troll. Yeah, but I don't get it. If you don't like the broadcast, but there, Double J's. There's people that just do it for their own fun, their own spite, as far as that goes. They want to get your goat, in a manner of speaking, as far as that goes. So I'm just so I just look at it. I have a standing rule, and I may, and you all know it. It's zero tolerance. I will not have, and I haven't. I think when I've said that on the previous so-called trolls, I don't mess with it. I don't play around. I don't recognize it. Just delete it, move on. I win, because you're not in this broadcast anymore. I've seen other broadcasts, and Randy, I guess he I don't think he's going to be as open, especially after this last bit, because this is costing him some money. I guess a 30-day suspension from Twitch. I mean, he loses almost 2 months worth of revenue, because it takes you a month just to get back going again, as far as that goes. So I'm not making money on this. It's yeah, they're giving me eventually, like once a year, they throw me a few pennies or something like that. But I'm not here for the money. Randy is. He makes that note, and that's one of the reasons he broadcasts a lot, and a lot of people like listening to him and see him. Yep, zero tolerance, but you are. I try to be, Double J's. I try to be, and that's just a person. It doesn't matter what my, and that's because of my upbringing. It's not because of my politics. There's a big difference. There's some people, and I know I used to associate way back before before the past presidents. I'll just say, put them up in a lump sum, because even during some other past presidents before this last one, and even with this current one, because of what you think about their administrations, they don't want to talk with you, and it's like, okay, if that's I can accommodate, no problem. It's a shame, it's a loss, because you try and put that aside, and you try and be fair, because that's the content of your character, and that's what Martin Luther King used to say. Look at the person as the content of their character. The content of the character is not your politics. Politics that's going to be changing all over the frickin' board anyway. So I do like talking about it and discussing it when I can, and I know I've thrown my views out here and stuff like that, but I try and keep it fair, because I'm a simple man. Okay, I try to be honest. I try to be one of the good guys and stuff like that. And it's just the nature of my background. If I'm a firefighter going into a burning building, I'm not going to rescue this guy because we got different politics. I don't think so. So, but there's some people that I used to follow, and then there might be a cultural thing, because there's some people that are overseas that I used to talk to on a daily basis. They didn't want to talk to me anymore. That's their prerogative. Because I'm not in line with you and stuff like that. I'm not being your particular yes man. That's one thing I will never do. There's been a couple times I was even borderline insubordinate in the military, where I'm not going to be your yes person. You can, I don't need this job. If you want to put me, I work at the, as far as that goes, you will be fired for sure. Well, yeah, but if you stand up, what's the sense of staying there if they're not going to, value your honesty and stuff like that, as far as that goes. And I think that's kept me. It's cost me some opportunities and stuff like that. But the thing of it is, I'm a better person now than when I was before and stuff. So that's all it goes. But anyway, I'm starting to get on my soapbox. I got the little thing back in my head there. Rich, you're on your soapbox. Get off it. Yesterday we had our audio podcast. I'm over there on Spotify for podcasters, and it's on the posted it up on my Twitter. And I always have fun. We talked about there was a complete dinosaur fossil found by this dog out in Colorado. This town, it's primarily a coal town because there's coal out in Colorado, but the coal is getting depleted, and so businesses are going out and stuff. Finding this full dinosaur, it's brought tourism into the community, so it's a new business. Yeah, I thought politics has no place in the. Well, no, you could discuss it. Getting to that in the service, the military double J's. I agree with that. It wasn't really politics as much as the thing is. I've had one particular incident. A fire chief, he wanted me to kiss his ass, and I, in a nice way, I said, "You can blow it out your ass." As far as that goes. So the job I had, it was as a fire inspector. He says, "Well, if do you really want that job?" And I said, you could put me wherever you want, Chief. That's your prerogative and stuff. He wanted me to kiss up to him I want to keep that 8-hour job. No, you can put me back on in operations. I don't care. This is when I was in Korea. That's back in my young radical days and stuff like that. And I use that as a war story, as a thing. No, I'm not going to, and I'm looking at my supervisor, and he's not standing up for me. The fire chief over there, he wanted to really rack my career, and I'm glad I had a supervisor that before I left, he stood his ground as far as giving me what I deserved as a rating for my 1 year over. The chief wanted him to bust it down from a 9 to the rating was 1 to 9. He wanted to bust it down from a 9 down to an 8. So he, as an as an endorser, you could only go one below what the rater gave you. So he wanted him to bust it down to an 8, and then there was no way that year I was an 8. I was a freaking fireball 9, doing what I did as far as that 1 year. And Tech Sergeant Cothran was his name, and he said. The chief wanted me to bust it, write you an overall 8, so he could bust it to a 7. That would have been total wash of my career. I would have probably just barely made my next stripe that I retired at, and stuff. And so it's that what I just described. You can find in any business environment. As far as you get those bosses and supervisors, they think they're king shit, and they forgot where they came from and stuff. Is what I'm saying. But the podcast yesterday, complete dinosaur fossil by a dog, and the dog's name was Walter, so they called this big dog, and I forget what town. I have it in the broadcast there, the podcast, audio podcast, and stuff like that. So let's see, what time? We got 45 minutes, so we got to do let's do the good history. James just gave us some history as far as interest. Yeah, it is an interesting story. I know I've talked about it before, but it's just an interesting story that it really opened my eyes. Not at that particular moment, but later on I could see. Wait, and the thing is, I'm a strong believer in karma because of that. Because here's the rest of the story. Double J's karma came into effect because. That chief, it became apparent that he was a little bit of a dirtbag. He ended up getting court-martialed because him and his wife were black marketing from the post-base exchange to the local community. So he was lucky they allowed him to retire at the rate he did. James, I used to work in banking. It was so corrupt. I can imagine. I made a lot of enemies because I wouldn't participate with things that were just you got to stay. You just don't want to go because they say, "Oh, this is the norm." I don't feel comfortable with that. So, same exact thing, James. Thank you for that. That's pretty interesting. I would imagine banking environment is very competitive and cutthroat there as far as that goes. Let's see our interesting. History. James just gave us a thing that today. It's right there. The first Kentucky Derby was run a horse race in Louisville, Kentucky, known in the U.S. The most exciting 2 minutes in sports back in 1875 on this day. So thank you, James, for doing that. The Watergate hearings began in the United States on this day in 1973. Man, that was bad. You look at some of the crap that's going on now. It's 10 times worse than Watergate now. Okay, especially some of the news that broke yesterday concerning the Durham report and stuff like that. I just caught a little bit of it. I'm not going to go into it. But the Watergate hearings, which was bad, it began in the United States Senate and was televised with gavel-to-gavel coverage, not just on PBS. It started out, but it was all major networks. The result of that is Richard Nixon resigned, and former president, he was his vice president because Nixon's vice president had to resign because of a milk deal or something like that. I forget his name. But Gerald Ford became the vice president, and then he subsequently became the president for the last couple of years of Nixon's administration. I actually met and shook hands with President Ford and talked to him for about 15, 20 minutes when I was in the Air Force up there in Massachusetts back in the early 80s. He very, very memorable moment as far as, and I've told that story before and stuff like that, because President Ford, when he went for re-election against Jimmy Carter, my first vote was for Gerald Ford. And President Ford has a very interesting, he was on the Warren Commission for the investigation of JFK. The movie All the President Men's is worth watching, all about Watergate. Oh yeah, I've seen, yeah, that's interesting. It's but the thing is, that's back when journalism was journalism, James. Today it's not. It's just media opinions and stuff. You got very few journalists few people that are journalists. Let's see. Trains from North and South Korea crossed the 38th parallel, taking a small symbolic steps towards a possible Korean reunification, which I don't think is going to happen now. Back in 2007, the first time that trains have crossed the demilitarized zone since 1953, and that was as a result of former President Trump's visit to North Korea, which I can't believe that didn't get more recognition than it did, because I was stationed in Korea, so at Osan Air Base, which is about less than 12 minutes away from the DMZ flight time, where that was always we're right there, almost in the zone, the DMZ zone, but you could feel the tension when there's tension up on that DMZ. And there was a couple incidents the year I was there that where they locked down the base and stuff, and it's like, well, are they going to come over the DMZ? Let's see. So that was very historical. I think it was a missed opportunity for individuals to recognize it, because it was as great as the Berlin Wall coming down, which I was over in Europe when that happened back in the day. So. But this is instrumental that you had trains from the North, families being reunited that hadn't seen each other since the Korean War in the early 50s. So that was pretty significant. Let's see. James, Trump's visit to Korea was brave, but he also normalized relations between United Arab Emirates and Israel, which that was another one too. Thank you, James. That wasn't just, I think it was several, United Arab Emirates, and there was like a couple other of them. That didn't get, I mean, let's say if Jimmy Carter did that, World Peace Prize. Okay? If President Obama did that, World Peace Prize. President Trump, no, Trump, he's a bum. He's a big mouth. He's a loud mouth. But you look at what the guy did, very significant. Now that's very good, James there. That's very significant. I know he's a blowhard and stuff like that, but once you get past that and you see what, I don't want to go there. Let's see. Moving on with the history here as far as that goes. Let's see. On this day, also, May 17th. Brown versus Board education ruling. On May 17, 1954, a unanimous U.S. Supreme Court handed down its Brown versus Board of Education of Topeka decision, which held that racially segregated public schools were inherently unequal and therefore unconstitutional. Very, very pivotal moment in American history right there as far as that goes. And back when there was a lot of turmoil, 54 going into the early 60s, concerning equal rights as far as that goes. Let's see. Oh, here's one from the UK there. In 1536, Archbishop of Canterbury, Thomas Craners, declared the marriage of England's King Henry VIII invalid after she failed to produce a male heir. So she couldn't have the baby, so they got divorced. She was already condemned for high treason and was executed 2 days later. You didn't give me a kid, you're executed. Oh, that's cold. He probably was a real. Let's see. On this day, in 1940, the Nazi regime occupied Brussels, Belgium during World War II. In 1946, on this day, President Harry S. Truman seized control of the national railroads, delaying but not preventing a threatened strike by engineers. And I guess the president can do that. President Biden, he was talking about doing it. I think it was last year or a year and a half ago, because there's 5 unions in the railroads here in the United States. Three of the 5 agreed, but the 2 said they were gonna. Yeah, that's brutal, Double J's. Yeah, you're off with the head, or executed. Again, 1973, a special committee covering by the U.S. Senate began its television of Watergate, and that's about it as far as our interesting history for this day, May 17th, 2023. As far as baseball, I go over the baseball scores, James, just to let you know at the end of the broadcast here. The Yankees won. I know they won last night against the Blue Jays. Okay, where are they? Oh, that's today's games. Yeah, so the Yankees won 6-3. I saw that Blue Jays got their first run on a home run. They only got 2 runs after that, but the Yankees won 6-3, which is that's a good win for the Yankees, because they need to move up out of the basement. They're in last place right now. And the Mets got beat by the Rays last night. And let's see, today I imagine the Yankees are going to be playing. Yeah, they're playing the Blue Jays. They're playing up in Toronto, and where are the Mets? The Mets are home against the Rays tonight. So last night started the semifinals in basketball. It's the Lakers against the Denver Nuggets, the Los Angeles Lakers against the Denver Nuggets, and the Nuggets. Denver beat Los Angeles to take a 1-0. It's best out of 7. And then Celtics, they play tonight at 8:30. So I'll be watching that game tonight as far as that goes. The Celtics at 8:30. And that's in Boston, the first game. So we're down to the Final 4 in the NBA. And then I'm almost going to say, I'm hoping, because the Celtics had a rough time. The 7th game win, that was, that was, I watched the whole game Sunday against the Sixers, and it was a great freaking basketball game. Third quarter, the Celtics just took off. They were 30 points ahead against the 76ers. And I guess in recent news yesterday, the coach for the 76ers, he got booted as far as that goes. So we'll be following that. I'm back into basketball here as far as watching the Celtics for sure, because I'm a Boston Celtic fan. I do like the Knicks too. I don't know what happened to the Knicks this year. So there we have it. There's that's the broadcast, James, as far as how we do it. So I'm going to go ahead and we're coming up on 58 minutes. We're going to go ahead and exit stage left. Well, have a great day. I enjoyed listening to your stream, and I enjoyed having you in the broadcast, James. James Pricey Aviation. So I take it you're in the aviation. You said you're banking, but you must like aviation. So like my name, Fireman Rich. I'm an ex Air Force firefighter, and I volunteered as a firefighter there for many years too. So but I'm retired now, so I'm still interested in the career field. But thank you, Tina. Ciao to you, and Tina saying bye to all. And thank you, Double J's, for being in the chat, as well as you, Tim Fan, out there in Michigan. He's on the job site. See you. Take care. You too, Double J's. Thank you very much. And again, thank you for those in the chat. Thank you for those that were watching on the replay, or watching just sitting back and enjoying the broadcast. That's always fine. As far as you know, we get some people in the chat. If there's nobody in the chat, that's all right. I get people to watch us on the replay. That's fine. It's getting views, so that's good. I always say if I get 1 or 2 views, it's a success. And I have 4 people in the chat, so it's a greater than success. So thank you very much. Very appreciated. All right, this is Rich Roberts, Fireman Rich here on Twitch. Wishing you all well. Have a great Wednesday, hump day, as we work towards the weekend. And James saying have a nice day to Tina and Double J's. That's good. But I'm also over there on Twitter at Fireman Rich, where I tote myself as a social media observer, social media enthusiast. In other words, I like playing on this thing called the internet, and that's what we're doing right here. I'll be doing the audio podcast tomorrow on Spotify for podcasters, and then we'll be back Friday for the morning coffee. And I might be slipping in a game broadcast here or something like that. We'll see. But you all have a great one wherever you may be on this big blue marble. Live life, have fun. Ciao for now. As always, peace. Take care. Thanks again, guys, in the chat. Thank you very much. Take care.